Okay, Math 2 folks, here is part 2 of the review. When I'm looking at how to identify what the graph of the function is, a couple tools I can use. One of them is to use the vertex formula, and the other is to look at the A, which is the scaling factor. This means, is it narrow or wide? And since my A equals 3, that means that I want something that's narrow, that instead of going up 1, 1, I want it to go up 1 times 3. So 1, 3. So already I can see this one, look, it's at -2, but this doesn't go up 1 and 3, it just goes up 1 and 1. I'm paying attention to my scale here, right? This is -2, 2, 4, -2. So I go over 1, up 1 over 1. So that makes me realize that this one's out because it doesn't use the A equals 3. The other way is I can do the vertex. So these ones, this one looks like it could be narrow. This one, hard to say because the scale is such. So if this is 10, then that would be over 1. This is 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So looks like it might be over 1 up 3. It's really hard to say. Same with this one. Over 1 up 3, maybe. So we need to use the vertex. The vertex formula is x equals -b over 2a. So -b over 2a is going to be giving me my x coordinate for my vertex. In this case, that's going to be -12 over 2 times 3. All right, because here's A, here's B. And so this is -12 over 6, which is -2. So that means my vertex is going to be -2 comma something. Now this something I get by plugging that back in. So 3 times -2 squared plus 12 times -2 plus 11. That's what I get. How did I get the other point of my vertex? -2 squared is 4, so this is 3 times 4. 12 times -2 is -24 plus 11. So I have 12 minus 24 plus 11. 12 plus 11 is 23, minus 24 is -1. So my vertex is at -2 comma -1. Here you can see I've got a vertex of -12, -11, and a vertex of 12, 11. So therefore, this must be it. And sure enough, if we look, this is -2 and -1. So there's my vertex. So this is the one. Now we go the other direction, where we're told to we're given an equation. We're told to graph it. So you'll on your final you'll have to be able to do both. You'll have to be able to give see a graph and know what the function is, and see a function and know what the graph is. So for this one, we see it's in vertex form. Vertex form is a times x minus h squared plus k. So my vertex here is h comma k, or 3 comma 7. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My a is 2, so that means I'm going to be narrower, or another way to say gets higher faster. So over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2. So there's my parabola. Probably shouldn't have written that so close to the graph, but there we are. All right, so that covers our material from first semester, where we got through quadratics and graphing and exponents, polynomials, stuff like that. Now we're on to second semester. One of the things we covered at the beginning was parallelograms. Remember that parallelograms mean that we've got parallel lines. So we extended that we know that parallel lines have opposite interior angles that are congruent, which means that same side or consecutive angles are supplementary, so that these angles are going to be 180 degrees. We also know that because they're parallel, that the opposite sides are congruent, so this is true. That consecutive angles from there to there are true because the consecutive mean one after the other. Oh, I'm sorry. Consecutive angles are something, but they're not congruent. They are supplementary. So that's false because they're not congruent. They're supplementary. That is, they equal 180 degrees when we add them together. Diagonals bisect each other. This is something we covered. That's true. Diagonals are congruent. That's not always true. Diagonals are congruent if I have a perfect rectangle. But not if I have one that's slanted, a parallelogram. So a parallelogram always going to have them bisect each other, which means that if EC equals 20, AE equals 3x plus 4, 3x minus 4, that means that if they're bisected, that means it's cut in half. So we've got this half is equal to that half. 3x minus 4 equals 20. 3x equals 24, x equals 8. Because they bisect each other, that means that half of each diagonal is on either side of this intersection point. Okay, from the same one, if DAB is 4y minus 12, and ABC is 64, what is the value of y? So these are consecutive angles, which means they're supplementary. 4y minus 12 plus 60 equals 180. Make sure you don't set them equal to each other because they're not equal to each other. They make a perfect U-turn, 180 degrees. Okay, so solving this, 4y plus 60 minus 12, so that's going to be plus 48 equals 180. Let's subtract 48 from both sides. 4y equals 132. 132 divided by 4. Get that right? 180 minus 48. Yeah, divided by 4. Y equals 33. Okay, last one. If BC is 3z minus 15. So I'm just going to draw this again. Sorry for having this on 2 pages. This is A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So if BC is 3z minus 15, AB is y plus 3, and AD is 2z plus 18. What is the value of z? So from this, we're just emphasizing that we need to be able to distinguish that it's these two sides that are congruent, and therefore the lengths are equal to each other, rather than that this side has anything to do with it. This side could be anything. 3z minus 15 equals 2z plus 18. Add 15 to both sides. I get 2z plus 33 equals 3z. So subtract 2z from both sides, and z equals 33. All right, next thing, the angle, interior angle sum theorem of a heptagon, 7-sided figures. So remember that if we have a 7-sided figure, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can split this up into triangles, and each triangle is 180 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our formula, n minus 2 times 180. Okay, so n minus 2, n is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. 5 times 180 equals 900. Okay, for here, we're going to have to take it the next step further. say, okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. So that means 180 times 5 minus 2 equals 180 times 3, 540. So the angles, all these angles should add up to 540. So that means I need to go 6x minus 14 plus x plus 7 plus 5x plus 8 plus 4x minus 17 plus 5x plus 10 equals 540. So I've got 6, 7, 12, 16, 21. 21x, 0 minus 14 plus 7 plus 8 minus 17 plus 10 equals negative 6. I'm going to check that again the other way. So I'm just adding up my constants. 10 minus 17 plus 8 plus 7 minus 14 minus 6. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. 0 minus 14 plus 7 plus 8 minus 17 plus 10, negative 6. Okay, triple checked. Minus 6 equals 540. Add 6 to both sides. 546 divided by 21. So I've got 21x equals 546. So x equals, what was 26, right? Yeah, 26.